Hey, it's Eric with Jazz Wealth Managers. I want to jump into nest egg today and talk about some withdrawal strategies. Now, the crazy thing is that you always hear different advisors talking about, well, what if you took money from this area first, or this money, or you converted a bunch of money with Roth? I want to go through that. But after doing a little bit of research, depending on which client you have, sometimes it may or may not be worth it. I want to let you decide on if that's going to be the case, but let's go ahead and jump right in here. So what we're looking at right this second is a couple clients of ours in our nest egg planning software. We've got Louis and Lucille. So Louis and Lucille, 59 and 58 years old. As far as expenses go, we're not going to worry too much on their expenses and their savings because they are retired. So what we've got to look at though is income. They're going to have their Social Security that's going to be coming in. As far as goals go, they're retired right this second. Their retirement expense is about $4,000. They also want $2,500 to travel for the first 10 years. So we can look here, I set it up as they've got 10 years after being retired that they want to get around the world a little bit, enjoy a little bit. So good for them. Now, talking healthcare costs, they've got their average healthcare costs built in here as well. Net worth, Louis and Lucille, they've done well for themselves. They've got their property, the property's paid for. They don't have any debts there when it comes to their investments. They've got some Roth money, not too much going on there. They've got a little bit of a good size 401k that they got rolled over, another 401k here, and then a little bit of a taxable account. Look at the taxable account. With this one's $105,000, but it's got a $105,000 cost basis. That's something that you've really got to look at when you're retiring. What is the cost basis? So if you're pulling from taxable accounts, you got to make sure that you're looking at what your cost basis is, depending on what tax bracket you're going to end up in, because this could hurt you, especially if it's short-term gains. You want to make sure you watch out for short-term versus long-term gains. All right, so we're going through their net worth there. As far as retirement goes, looking pretty good. I mean, 78%, I always like to say, anything between 70 to 80% is good when it comes to retiring. I like to see that. This is projecting they're still going to have $624,000 to leave as an inheritance or charity, whatever the case they want to do there. So we've got a lot of different things going, but here's what I really want to look at. What I started to build out in here was some distributions to take a look at what's going to be a good option for them. I'm going to go ahead and give the nuggets away by talking about this right here. So let me first start what I was originally looking at. My original thought was if they just took a pro rata approach. The pro rata approach, what that means is that they're actually going to just pull from all of the different accounts equally. So you have a taxable account, you have a little bit of a Roth account, you have a 401k. You're going to be grabbing from a little bit of all of those to get the money for retirement. So we're going to call that our baseline. That's where we're starting at. We've got a few different strategies I built in here. First, if we're just talking a standard approach, what that means is I'm going to be taking first from a taxable account, then I'm going to take from a tax deferred, then I'm going to take from the tax free. I like the idea of keeping the tax free money for last because you have to think through this. What you're doing is you're spending all of the money and allowing this money that was in a Roth account to grow and grow and grow because it's growing tax-free. So that's going to be a large sum later on that you never have to pay taxes on. So really it's dollar for dollar what you're going to be able to pull out. So think through that when you're going to do your strategies. You've got other taxable, tax-free, and tax-deferred. That's one that I was looking at. Each of these, if we're looking here, they've got a little bit of money that you're going to be able to save, but it's not going to be a drastic amount. This one's $27,308. If I go back to the standard, as you can see, it was $32,937. Not a lot of money when it comes to just different strategies here. So the other ones I won't even get into. They were kind of hit or miss as well, but these two I want to look at. So what I really want to throw in, though, is the idea of a conversion. Because we start talking about Roth conversions with the withdrawal strategy, then we can possibly see a difference. So if we go back to the first one, remember we would pull pro rata, that's from each individual account that I was thinking of. I looked at, okay, well, what happens if I do just a 10% Roth conversion? Well, when it comes to that, it's not really going to do too much for me. It's actually going to just be sitting there with, let's see if it's updates again. Yeah, $0. $0. So if I do a little bit of a Roth conversion there, it's not going to do too much for me. But what if I go to the standard account? Remember, that's the one that had a little over $30,000. That's the one I want to look at, $90,000 more. So this is where you've got to really start to look at, is an advisor worth it for you? Maybe you were doing it on your own, but you want to start looking at Roth conversion strategies and all these things. this is where sometimes we can earn our keep. But at the same time, is this worth it to you? I mean, I know for me, I'd like to have $90,000 more dollars, because when we're talking about this is to be able to spend throughout the years during retirement, but that's going to be something that you have to think about. But in the end, $90,000 for somebody with a net worth of a couple million, I know for me that seems like a lot of money, but for others, it may not even be worth it for you. So it's just something to look at, think about. It's not for everybody, but it's just something I wanted to teach on today. So I appreciate you watching. If you haven't yet, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave some love below. Thank you.